Free 3 months/3,000 mile warranty. 2000 Ford Explorer XLS in great condition inside and out. This vehicle was acquired by our dealership from the State Police Vehicle Asset Forfeiture sale. Looks to have been well maintained by the previous owner. The powerful V6 engine starts right up the instant you turn the key, and provides you with all the power you need. The interior provides you with the power and luxury options that are to be expected on a 2000 Ford Explorer. Power seats, locks, windows and a great sound system with a built-in CD player. For your added safety, it is equipped with 4-wheel ABS, 4-wheel drive, driver and passenger airbags, and an anti-theft alarm system. The paint looks great, no major chips or dents. This SUV is ready to be driven across country today. Call today to schedule your appointment to see this quality pre-owned vehicle. Prestige Motorworks has no-hassle no-haggle pricing structure. Make your next vehicle purchase worry-free. Buy with confidence, buy with pride, buy Prestige. Call 637-806-439 or 636-312-535. We also accept Visa, MasterCard and Discover. You can pay for your entire vehicle purchase with your credit card. We are one of the few dealers in the state that offer our customers this service. At Prestige Motorworks we treat our customers with honesty and respect. When you purchase a car from us, you only pay actual title and registration fees that are charged at the Illinois DMV, plus a low $99 document processing fee. No prep fees, no transport fees, no junk fees, period. Thank you for using Yakit to me, voice of the web. YKITON